All right, so on one of your math papers for today, you have a grid of a 4x4, and it has different pictures, like there's a camper, and a sleeping bag, and s'mores, and a tree, and it has them in different positions, and there's numbers on the side, and it wants you to figure out what each picture represents, like the number. So I thought I would do an example one for you to explain A, what it's talking about, and B, how I would solve it. So I drew up an example here, and I have assigned each image a number. We have stars, we have smiley faces, hearts, and squares. And then I put them in here randomly, and then I added them all up on the side. So a star has a number. All the stars have the same number. Smiley faces are all equal to something. Boxes are all equal to something, and hearts are all equal to something. It's kind of like, again, math when you have a variable, like an X or a Y or a Z, and they assign it a number, but it's like an unknown. You don't know what it is. Well, here they're just giving you a picture instead. And our job is to figure out what these pictures mean. And so if I add up 3 stars and a smiley face, their value is 41. Or if I add up 2 stars, a heart, and a smiley face, their value is 39. And so on. So 2 squares plus a smiley face plus a star are 31, and 2 squares and 2 hearts equal 26. So the first thing I started doing when I was doing the other one to solve it was that I started looking for patterns. So something that I can recognize and see, oh, that's something that's obviously like slightly different than the next line. So one thing I noticed right here is that I have 3 stars and a smiley face are 41. And then I have 2 stars, a heart, and a smiley face are 39. So the only difference between the top row and the second row down is the difference between a star and a heart. And I'm noticing that the difference between the two lines of values is just 2. 41 minus 39 is 2, which is telling me that the difference between a star and a heart must be 2. So if I can write over here a star's value, oops, marker doesn't work. Need to find better markers. Maybe this purple one will work. A star minus a heart equals 2. Okay, so then let's look at more what we've got. So here I'm seeing 2 stars and 2 squares add up to 30. So that's interesting. So that I can assume then that probably a star plus a square would be, if I have that, so 1 star plus 1 square equals 15. Just divide it by 2. And then I'm also seeing over here that 2 squares and 2 hearts equal 26. So I could have that also. I could say that a heart plus a square equals half of 26 is 13. Okay, so once again, that's proving my point over here that stars and hearts are 2 different, because 15 and 13 is a difference of 2 as well. Let's see, what else am I seeing? Then I see that all of them added up all equal 34. So none of them can be very large numbers, because if all 4 of them total 34, then they all have to be in the range of like a little less than 10 probably. Because I know that 4 times 10 is 40, so we're probably looking somewhere between like, 5 and 10. Obviously 1 could be, like a 1, and 1 could be like 20, but I'm just guessing that they're not. So something else that I'm seeing also is that I have 3 stars here and a smiley face. So I'm just gonna try to start putting like numbers in here, and maybe like start guessing at something. And so I'm seeing, okay, if I've got 3 plus 1, maybe something really easy could be like if each star was worth 10, and then that would mean that a smiley face could be worth 11. 10 times 3 is 30, plus 11 would be 31, or sorry, 41. That's just like a start to like see if it works. So then I'm gonna draw out a new box somewhere. Where would I put this? I'll put it over here. Dang it, I'm gonna have to erase this. Okay, so then I drew on my other one, I drew another box, and I just left it blank spaces. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if we assume that a star is 10, I'll just put in where all the stars are on our chart, I'll just put a 10 in there for now. So 10, 10, 10, and it looks like there's 2 stars right here, 10 and 10, and then 1 down here, okay? And then, I didn't realize they were all in that pattern. And then I was thinking maybe a smiley face is 11, because that would add up to 41. So I'm going to put 11 in all the smiley face boxes for now. Okay, and then remember we said that a heart is has to be 2 less than a star to get the number over here, 39, is because that's 2 different than 41, which would mean that if a heart was 2 less than a star, 10 minus 2 is 8. So I'm going to put in 8 in here just for now, just to see. So would that work? 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30, plus 11 makes 41. That works because that's the same as over here. So that would work. I'm going to put the numbers on the side over here. Okay, then if I did this, 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 8 is 28, plus 11 would be 39. Well, that works out, okay? So far we're doing okay. Let's look on the side now, because we've got another one on the side here as well. We've got 3 stars and a heart, and that equals 38. So if my stars are all 10, 10, 10, 10, then a heart would have to be 8, because I'm trying to get to 38. That adds up. So let's put in where all the hearts are in now. So there was a heart here as well, right there. So with that, let's see. So now I've got 11 plus 8 something has to add up to 35. So if 11 plus 11 is 22, plus 8 makes 30, then my square would have to be, my square would have to be 5 to get to 35. Then if I fill in the rest of the spots, let's see if that fits. 5, 5, 5. Let's see, 10 plus 10 is 20. And then 5 plus 5 is 10. So that's 20 plus 10 is 30. So that fits, okay. And then 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 11 is 29. And 29 plus 5 would be 34. Oh, and that fits over here. It looks like everything's fitting. I just got lucky, I think. 5 plus 5 is 10. And then 10 plus 10 is 20. Plus 11 makes 31. Oh, and that's that over there. So looks like we probably got it right. And then 5 plus 5 is 10. 8 plus 8 is 16. So it will be 10 plus 16 or 26. And we got that one. So the biggest thing here on your paper today is that you want to be looking for patterns. Where is there a slight difference between one line and the next line that you can figure out, okay, this line is, too different than this line. There's only one shape that's different. That means that shape has to be 2 numbers off from this other shape. And then you can start putting together, okay, then if this number is if this shape is, 10, then this shape has to be 2 off from it. And you can start putting those in and guessing. I think I did figure out the answer to the worksheet that's on your paper today, and I will post that with the video, but I suggest that you try it out first, maybe set a timer for like 20 or 30 minutes, and then if you get stuck, look at it and see if that helps you. And one of them I'll post some of the numbers, and one of them I'll post all of the numbers. That way if you want like a hint, you can get the hints. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There is other ways to solve it, like you could use algebra. I didn't solve it using algebra. I thought about it. That would have been the easy way out. It's like, no, I'm going to solve it as if I couldn't do that. So that's what I was thinking. Like I was just trying to figure out patterns and differences. So I hope you have fun. It's just kind of a brain teaser to get your brain working and thinking and solving problems. It might be frustrating, but it's good to honestly to have math that's frustrating sometimes, because it makes you like really think. And if you get too frustrated, go take a walk for a bit and then come back to it. Your brain, while it's not thinking about problems, actually thinks about like in the back. So you might come back to it and then it might be easier the second time around.